ladies. Settle down. Everybody quiet. Class has begun. And today's lesson is a lesson into womanhood. It is a lesson into coochie ownership. This is the Coochie Commandments. We're going to talk about coochie maintenance, coochie upkeep, coochie during sex, coochie aftercare, and coochie overall health. This is the only coochie owner's manual that you will ever need, sister. So first up, does everybody know where everything is? If not, I'm about to tell you right now. Now, I was going to put a little hair on my coochie because that's true to me and that is exactly what type of timing I'm on. But I'm going to leave her bare so we ain't got all the rigmarole around. So first things first, we have the clitoris and the clitoris hood. So we have the hood and that little bean right there is the clitoris. The hood protects the clitoris. The clitoris is that little bitty organ that's inside that hood. So everybody's vagina looks different. Yours may not look like this, and that is completely okay. But that clitoris will be located inside your vulva, and you will be able to pull that clit hood back to be able to expose your being. There are some women who have a larger clitoris, so you can see it exposed from the hood. But when we get to the grooming section, you will still need to groom your coochie the same exact way as a woman whose vulva and her clitoris is not as exposed. So when you think about the clitoris hood, to kind of give you a visual, if you are someone who has a penis and is watching this, the clitoral hood is kind of like the foreskin that would be on a penis that is not as circumcised. It's that protective layer, and it has that heightened sensitivity that a lot of men who are uncut can feel. If there was no clitoral hood on your clitoris, it would constantly be rubbing against something. For the clitoris is literally made for pleasure. It is the only organ on the woman's body that is created strictly for pleasure. It has no other purpose but to please you. A lot of people don't know this, but the clitoris isn't just that being that you see exposed on the outside. The clitoris actually extends into the vaginal canal. That's why sometimes you can reach an orgasm that kind of resembles clitoral stimulation from penetration. It has two little legs that extend several inches inside the vaginal canal. But the side that we see the most and the one that we can stimulate the most is that being that is outside the body. The clitoris is the most nerve-dense organ on a woman's body. It has more receptors than anywhere else. So that is the reason why everyone says it is so important to female pleasure. There are some women who cannot orgasm via penetration, but they can orgasm via clitoral stimulation. Next is the inner labia or the labia minora. The labia minora is kind of like those butterfly wings. That's what I like to call them. A nigga said that to me back in the day. But they are the little butterfly wings that are around the opening. Sometimes they flutter out. Sometimes they're tucked in real nice and neat. Everybody's vagina is different, but they all have the same functions. Don't confuse the inner with your lips. This has no hair, so that's how you will know it is the labia minora. It does not grow hair typically. It's inside those lips. There is no normal look to your butterfly wings, baby. Like I said, everybody is made different, but our functions are still the same. They can have different colors. They can have different sizes. One side of your inner labia may be smaller than the other side. One may be longer than the other side. One may extend out a little bit more. There are a lot of women who naturally have larger inner labia. The inner labia's main job is to protect your opening. So just like that clit hood protects the clitoris, the inner labia protects your vagina and your urethra. Your urethra is where pee comes out of. There's a lot of women who think that pee comes from the vagina hole, or they think it comes from the clitoris. There's a small hole, an opening that's above your vagina that is strictly made for peeing. That's where your catheter will be inserted. That is strictly where pee comes from. The urethra is directly connected to your bladder. That's why urine flows so freely from that area. It is directly connected to your bladder. It has nothing to do with your vaginal canal. So do not think that if you urinate during sex, it's coming out of the same hole that you're being penetrated in. It is a completely different hole. This is also why urinating after sex is so important, because it's so close to that opening and so close to that action that you want to free that area after you've had sexual contact. The outer labia, that is where your lips are, so where we have a little hair grow on. If hair grows on it, it is your outer labia, aka your lips. Some people call this area the labia majora, or the outer labia, or the lips. Either way is fine. I'm just giving you the definitions behind everything so we can know what we're working with. Before I get into the coochie commandments, we got to know what the coochie is and where everything in the coochie is. Look at all these motherfucking parts of the coochie. This is the vagina. It's funny because a lot of times we'll say this whole entire part is the vagina, but really it's just this opening. This is directly into your vaginal canal where all of your sexual organs will be. This is the entrance where a penis will go, your fingers will go. This is where a lot of sexual contact will take place. This is also where menstrual blood will come from. This is also where discharge comes from. Everything that comes out usually comes from this hole. The inside of the vagina is very stretchy and very muscular. It is a muscle, that vaginal canal. That's why it can contract and bring babies to life through it. Last but not least, the anus. Girl, that's a booty hole. That is your booty hole. That's where shit comes from, and you can also be penetrated there as well. But we are not talking about booty land, booty holes, anus right now. We are only talking about the coochie commandments. But that is where poop comes from. That's where you fart. It is a short trip from anus to vagina. That's why grooming, when we get to that section, is going to be so important, because it is so close to those areas, and the amount of bacteria that comes from the anus, the amount of bacteria that comes from the vagina that can be exposed to the urethra, that can go directly to your bladder and cause UTIs and infections, makes the grooming so important. It makes the upkeep and health of the vagina so important. You're in an area where there's a lot of moisture, a lot of bacteria growth, and it's all close to each other within less than inches. So you have to be mindful on that. First, we're going to talk about upkeep, maintenance, and grooming of the vagina. Grooming and upkeep. The vaginal canal is a self-cleaning mechanism, not the entire makeup of the vagina. So you still have to clean your labia majora, your labia minora, your urethra, your clit hood, between your thighs, and your ass. None of that is self-cleaning. The only self-cleaning part is your vaginal canal, and your vaginal canal is not exposed on the outside, so the chances of you actually washing that motherfucker is very slim to none, but we're gonna wash everything else around it. So, canal is self-cleaning, not the pussy. So when it comes to coochie cleaning, because the vagina stays at a pH level of 5 and below, anywhere from 4 to 5 is a very healthy pH range for your vagina. You can get test strips online. I use them all the time. You also can use them after you done fuck the nigga, so you can know if he the one who spiked your shit. So test your pH before you fuck with that nigga, and test it after you fuck with that nigga to see if he the one knocking your shit off. They're very simple. All you take is a little bit of your discharge, wipe it against the inner labia, and it will, within 5 seconds, let you know where your pH level sits. When it comes to the type of products that we should use, I'm not sponsored by anybody, but what I personally use, I use Dr. Bonner's Baby Castile soap. I do not use it for the insides. I do not use it for my inner labia, my urethra, my vagina. I use it for the creases that surround my vagina. So these are your thigh creases right here. Thigh creases. They carry a lot of moisture. It's packed in there. I'm thick as a motherfucker. My legs been rubbing all fucking day. In that crease, we're gonna scrub there. So what I do is I take my African net sponge and I scrub in the inner thigh, scrub, inner thigh, scrub, anus. Because the anus is not the same mechanism as the vagina and carries that pH level that can knock it off balance. You can use soap on your ass. So scrub the ass to keep this clean and bacteria free. As far as for inside your vagina, inside the inner labia, there are soaps that are made specifically for vaginal care. If you do not want to use a baby soap, there are so many pH balanced soaps that are on the market for you to try. Find the one that is best for your body. But when it comes to inside, I don't use my loofah or net sponge. I will use hands or a gentle washcloth. Gentle. That's for like period time when you want to really get in there, but hands is enough. Put some of that pH balanced soap on your hands and get the work in that pussy. Open them lips up in every groove and crevice. Rub in there. Rinse water in there. You got that jet fueled shower head that you use to cum all the motherfucking time. Use that shower head with the jets on it for your pussy. Lift the hood of your clit back and make sure you get all of that white debris and clit cheese out of there. I'm serious. I know this sounds a little funny, but it's serious. That area is like the foreskin. It's like a uncircumcised penis. And when a man has an uncircumcised penis, he has to pull that foreskin back. There may be lint in there. There may be hair in there. There may be debris and dirt in there. It's the same thing and it has the same function. The clit hood is like our version of foreskin. Pull it back. Wash your clit effectively. I'm serious. If you have never done this before in your life, I guarantee you when you lift that up, you're going to see something. Wash well with water. Wash well with a soap that is made specifically for the vagina and sensitive areas. Do not put bar soap. Do not put fragrance soaps. Fragrance soaps can instantly change your pH level. So that's the reason why I'm saying gentle in soaps that are made specifically for the vagina, because anything can knock your pH off. The pH of soap is probably 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You put that soap in the wrong place, it's going to knock your 4, 5 up. You're going to have an imbalance on good and bad bacteria. That's going to lead to bacteria infections, yeast infections, etc. We want to prevent that. So since the vagina has a pH level of 5, there are other ways to keep your pH level balanced. Loose fitting clothes. So that also plays into the grooming, upkeep, and maintenance. Right now, you see I got on some full-on bloomers. My whole ass is covered. Ain't no thong, no nothing, because I'm at home. The coochie need to breathe. The coochie needs full coverage. I don't need no little ass triangle on my big ass pussy and half my lips hanging out the side. I know those panties are cute. And I know sometimes those panties are necessary. Some outfits is a G-string outfit. Some outfits is a no panties outfit. Some outfits is a thong outfit. I get you. But don't wear them long term. If you are at home and you have the opportunity to relax, let that coochie breathe. If you at home and you got the opportunity to relax, put on some big drawers. Put on some boy shorts. Don't have that thong cutting into the inside of your pussy. Tight clothes can fuck up the pH. You have to also think all that heat. Bacteria breeds in heat. And it's just body heat. We 97.5 degrees all the time when we don't have a fever. So you putting in that heat, sweat building up, bacteria building up, pH can go up. So we like to try to keep that area clean and try to keep that area dry so it doesn't breed as much bacteria. So if you are a juicy bitch, you got that juicy pussy. Panty liners. Panty liners cost $2. I think you get about 20 of them in a pack. Dollar store, Walgreens, everywhere. Get the unscented ones. I know it's tempting to get a scented feminine product. I know it's tempting to get scented tampons. I know it's tempting to get scented panty liners, but it's not necessary. Coochie ain't supposed to smell like flowers, to keep it all the way G. Coochie's not supposed to smell like it. Coochie's not supposed to smell like summer rose. It's not. Coochie's supposed to smell a little musk. Coochie's supposed to have pheromones. Coochie's supposed to smell like heat. Coochie's supposed to smell like body. Coochie's supposed to smell like, kind of smell like bread a little bit. It ain't supposed to smell like Brazilian bum bum cream. It's not. It's not supposed to smell like caress. It's not supposed to smell like it. It's not supposed to taste like that either. So I know it's tempting to get those fragrance products, but those fragrance products can be disrupting your natural pH level and actually can be working against you. Wear a panty liner and change it often. If that coochie start getting wet throughout the day, switch it out. Change it again. Change it again. You want to keep this area dry so that bacteria don't breed. That's for my juicy girls. Another way to keep that area dry and clean. When it comes to the grooming aspect after you get out the shower, we done washed our coochie real good. We done lifted the clit hood and everything real good. We out the shower. Make sure you dry your body effectively. I've seen it before where some women will rush through their grooming process, rush through getting ready, and your ass crack is still kind of wet. And then you done gone out there and led the day with your ass crack kind of moist and bacteria is breeding in your ass. Dry your body 100%. I'm a thick bitch. I ain't even gonna hold you. I got a blow dryer that's dedicated to drying my body. When I feel like that towel ain't getting enough, I will spread them ass cheeks open and let that blow dryer go to work. I kid you not. I'm not about to have no wet creases, no wet coochie, no wet ass, and putting clean underwear and going out in 90-degree weather. Dry the coochie completely. You don't want any moist areas that's not from discharge, essentially, naturally there. Another method to keep the coochie dry. So let's say after we dry our coochie, we dried it completely. Coochie dry. Take some witch hazel. Put it in the creases of your thighs. Put it in your ass crack. You can take a cotton pad, saturate it with the witch hazel, rub it in your areas. Let it dry completely. This will cut back any musk and odors that you may get there. After that is completely dry, you can use a powder. Use a cornstarch based powder. I know the fragrances are very tempting. I know it. You got the Lush, you got the Bath Body Works, you got the Johnson Johnson, you got every motherfucking thing. Cornstarch based natural powders. No talcum. That powder, because after you done dried out, you done put your witch hazel on, that powder in your creases, that powder in your ass crack, is going to help soak up some of that moistness that may occur to prevent that bacteria from spreading around. And it's also going to prevent any stank. Another method to keep the pH balanced and to prevent bad bacteria growth, but I do suggest everybody get a prebiotic to help with coochie maintenance, coochie health, and coochie upkeep. It helps keep things balanced and it helps that flora thrive in your coochie. Now, I told you what you should do for healthy coochie maintenance, healthy coochie pH level. What you shouldn't do: no douching. No douching, no summer's eve, no none of that. If you have something that you feel is up in there, if there's an issue inside there, because that's essentially the douche is for inside there, go to the doctor. Douching pushes whatever you think was the problem further back there. So it's an even bigger problem. You pushing it all the way up in your cervix. You squirting the bacteria all around. you have essentially probably washed out some of your good bacteria trying to get rid of the bad shit, and now your shit is even more imbalanced. Even when it comes to trying to clean out semen in this area, if you had someone ejaculate inside you, douching is not the method to clean that. If you have someone ejaculate inside you and you want to get that out, water is not going to do shit for you. If that semen is in there, it's in there. You need to sit on that motherfucking toilet for about 10 minutes, make sure that shit get out. Clean your pussy on the outside, clean everything in. That canal is self-cleaning. If you want to ensure that you probably don't have any bacterial issues, or maybe you think his semen, because I think the pH of semen is 7, where the vagina is 4 to 5. If you're worried that his semen will knock off your pH, throw a suppository in there. There's boric acid. I don't always suggest boric acid because overusing boric acid can make your body grow a dependency on it, and it can permanently fuck up your pH. Boric acid doesn't necessarily target the symptoms, it masks the symptoms. So you can use a suppository boric acid, or like I said, if there is something you feel is a problem inside there, you need to go to the doctor. It's fine. If you don't feel comfortable with a doctor, if you get anxiety around doctors, or let's say that you don't have insurance, there are resources online that give you discreet feminine health care from the comfort of your home. You can get medicines delivered to your home completely free of any embarrassment, anonymously, in the comfort, in your privacy. There is a website that I have used before. I remember I was on vacation and I needed some Plan B, and I needed this pill to help me not come on my period. I was in the middle of Miami popping pussy, and I didn't want to come on my period and ruin the fucking trip on 4th of July weekend. So I went on whisk.com and I ordered medicine that would delay my period 3 more days so I could have me a period-free beach vacation. There are websites online where you can utilize these resources. I think on Whisk I paid $35, and I had insurance, so I think my insurance paid for the medication. It was $6 after my insurance paid for it. I think I ended up coming out all together $43. And I was in the privacy of my own hotel. I was in the middle of Miami, went to go pick up the prescription. It was clean and seamless. I have doctors that are electronic. They have all types of STD testing, STI testing, all types of antibiotics and everything else. There are resources available for you if you have anxiety when it comes to a doctor. But I'm not gonna lie, if you're not anxious to put that pussy in a nigga's face, you shouldn't be anxious to put it in front of a doctor. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying what you selling. If you could sit on a nigga's face and you think your coochie might not be up to par, but you scared to go see the doctor, I can't feel that. I can't fuck with you. I don't know. You should be more scared to put it in a nigga's face. He ain't even a fucking professional. He can't do nothing but fuck you. He can't help you at all. He gonna make it worse. Fucking him gonna make it worse. Also, having untreated infections for a long time can make things worse. If you're scared to get tested at a facility, there are at-home testing kits. You can buy them at Walgreens. You can buy them online, sent to your home, swab, send it back. You get the results in your email. You get the care instructions in your email. There are methods to protect yourself, to help yourself, and to heal yourself. I want to say it again because I did touch on the douches, and I did say that there are washes that are specifically made for the vaginal area. But like I said, beware of certain washes. If they have fragrances in there, if they promise to make your pussy smell like roses, if they promise to make your pussy smell like strawberries, look at those fucking ingredients. If it sounds like it could be a cocktail, it don't need to go in your coochie. So beware of those washes. Beware of some of those wipes. Beware of those sprays. Leave them alone. Leave them alone. If you need to spray and put perfume on your pussy, you didn't do the groom and upkeep correctly. Your coochie is moist. Your coochie's carrying bacteria. You're not taking your pro and prebiotics. You're not washing yourself effectively. You're not doing those things. You wearing too tight of underwear. You sweaty and you're not taking showers consistently. You need to go back to the drawing board. if you feel like you need a perfume, a spray for your pussy. We're going to talk about discharge. Discharge can come in many colors. It can come in green, yellow, gray, red, pink, black, brown, white, clear, frothy, foamy, milky, liquidy. Discharge can come in a wide range, but healthy discharge maintains a pH level from 4 to 5. It is clear, or if it is white, it's consistent with your cycle. So when you are closer to ovulation, you may have a thicker white discharge that may be regular for you. If you are someone who is close to ovulation, you may be in one of your phases. That's normal when it comes to certain times. But for the most part, coochie discharge is clear. It dries and leaves a white mark in your underwear. Sometimes your underwear can start to look like you got bleach stains in there. And that just comes from your pH level. If you one of those ladies and you look at some of your old drawers and you're like, why I look like I got bleach stains in my fucking pussy area? It's because your pussy is acidic. And that's okay. That's okay. Everything's acidic. Every liquid has acidity in it. I'm just letting you know that that's normal. Discharge, especially when it is the correct color and consistency depending on your cycle, is healthy. That's letting you know that your coochie is functioning well, it's lubricated well, it's working properly. Discharge is not the enemy. So if your coochie gets wet and you feel like you wetting up your drawers, it's making you feel uncomfortable, panty liner. Because the discharge ain't the problem. The discharge is letting you know your pussy working properly. Panty liner so you're not uncomfortable. Panty liner so you're not growing bad bacteria. Pubic hair. Now, I really want to touch on it because I ain't going to hold you. I got hair on my coochie. Because for me personally, I wear my coochie hair with pride. I am not ashamed to have a hairy pussy. Hairy pussy for me is very empowering. For one, pubic hair is there for a reason. Pubic hair has a job. Pubic hair cuts back on the friction that you receive. It's kind of a barrier for your coochie. It protects your coochie from dirt. It protects your coochie from bacteria. It protects your coochie from debris. Pubic hair is a barrier. So rather you decide to get rid of your pubic hair or you decide to keep it, when you get rid of that barrier, you have your coochie more exposed, which means these grooming things are way more important because you don't have your natural security of your pubic hair. Removing pubic hair is 100% an aesthetic-based choice. It is not necessary for you to have sex. It's not necessary for you to seek pleasure. It is not necessary for you to ministrate. It's not necessary for you to do anything. It is strictly aesthetic because it has a function. There is a reason why once you hit puberty and you go through a certain point in life where your body grows this. Our bodies know things that we don't know. We are made in perfect design. There is no other design. There's no other thing on earth that is more perfectly made than the human body. Our bodies know what they're doing. So rather you decide to get rid of it or you decide to keep it, that is at your own discretion. But I do say if you decide to keep it, I recommend trimming certain areas, especially when it comes to menstruating, your period, that sort of thing. Having certain debris and stuff trapped in your hair, it can make your vagina develop a certain muss. If you're not staying up with that upkeep, it can lead to that. So I would suggest if you decide to keep the pubic hair in these pubic areas, on your side areas, maybe even on your lips, I would trim certain areas, not completely down, just enough to where you can see your clit hood, you can see your clit, you can get to your opening without those long stringy hairs possibly going inside your opening as you're getting fucked. So I would trim certain areas just to make them, depending on how long your pubic hair grows, just for accessibility, just for easier cleaning, easier maintenance. I am not saying get rid of it. I am suggesting to trim it. Now, if you decide to shave your pussy, when it comes to shaving the pussy, Shaving is the cheapest and fastest way to have a bare vagina, but it is also the riskiest hair removal method because it can lead to ingrowns, it can lead to infections, it can lead to cuts, nicks, etc. This is a very sensitive area, and you would not want a razor to go over certain areas. So you have to be careful when it comes to using a razor. You also want to use a clean razor. You don't want to necessarily use the razor that you just did on your armpits and your ass and your feet and put it on your pussy. I'm not saying that you need to use a brand new razor for every single body part that you do, but change your razors pretty regularly. Don't use the same razor for a long time. That razor can start to grow mold, start to grow rust, and it can cause you to have tetanus or other different infections. You don't want that, especially if you were to nick yourself in that area. Ingrown hairs, they can grow anywhere. Just because if you're shaving in the wrong direction, it can cause friction and then you have bumps all over the place. The bumps have nothing to do with the function of your vagina. It's literally all aesthetic, but it also can cause discomfort. You have a bump in that crease. This is a very sensitive area and that skin is very thin. It can grow and it can cause you discomfort. You walking all, you scared to have sex, you scared to show it because it's big and it's red and it's festering, and then you keep picking at it and now it's turned into a cyst, now it's turned into an abscess, and now you got this big ass fucking knot that you need to get removed off your pussy. Shave in the direction of hair growth, not against it. So if you in this pubic area, your hair grows down. Mine does. Mine grows down towards the pussy. Shave in that direction. Don't shave upward. Never dry shave your pussy. Don't dry shave anything, but definitely don't dry shave your pussy. So always use a shaving cream. I would use a sensitive shaving cream just to be safe, since it is going to go so close to that area. When you are freshly shaven, all those pores and everything is exposed. You basically have small microscopic cuts on your pussy, so it's more susceptible for bacteria, infections, and that sort of thing. So make sure we do the grooming and upkeep very, very well when it comes to that. Another thing that I also suggest, if you decide to do shaving so you don't grow in hairs, exfoliate. Exfoliate the pussy when you shaving. Remove some of that dead skin so you have a cleaner, smoother shade. And then also it helps with that hyperpigmentation that can kind of develop in the areas because it's gonna get as much sunshine, and it's okay. Exfoliate the pussy when you incorporate the shaving. I exfoliate the pussy even when I don't incorporate the shaving because it's good to really get in there and get those creases and get everything in there, and it smells so good. There's another product that I've used when I do decide to shave because I like to shave and keep this area clean on my bikini line. It's called Ten Skin. I am not sponsored by anybody. This is just the products that I use, but it's called Ten Skin, and it's basically an aftershave product that helps prevent razor burns and razor bumps. So you just kind of put it in that area. It does have a slight sting to it because it's probably alcohol based, like how they would do at the barbershop or something, but it is very effective with preventing ingrown hairs. If you do inevitably get the ingrown hair, please don't pick at it, especially in an area like your vagina, because it can grow very big and ugly. Use a warm compress. Keep the area dry and clean. Grooming and upkeep is going to be your best friend when it comes to having an ingrown in that area. When it comes to this area too with the grooming and upkeep, I know I said don't use bar soaps, antibacterial soaps, and that sort of thing on the normal day-to-day when it comes to cleaning your pussy. But if you have an ingrown hair in the inside of your thigh or in an area that's close to your coochie, use an antibacterial soap on that area. I'm not saying everywhere else, but in that area, to clean it very well, make sure it's dry, and you continue the rest of your self-care regimen. But cleaning that ingrown with some antibacterial soap, using a hot compress, that can help bring it up, and it can also help it absorb itself inside your body. There are some times where the ingrown might absorb inside your body and it'll just slowly go down over time if you don't pick at it. Or there are other times where it'll come to a head and it may bust on its own. Try to prevent friction and rubbing up on it. So if you know you got one in between your thighs and you know as you keep on walking and your thighs rubbing and keep on rubbing against, you may need to wear pants that week. You may need to wear Bermuda shorts instead of the hoochie daddy, instead of it being all up in the coochie cutters. You may have to wear something a little longer so you have that barrier. There are also other things. There's anti-chafing creams that you can put inside there, but that's also another, that's a whole different episode. Whole different episode. We just talk about the coochie. Other methods for hair removal, of course, there are waxing. Waxing is just the process of putting wax, or sugaring is another way. But they put a sugar-based or a wax-based product on the pubic area that has the hairs. They use a waxing strip, off. It is more longer lasting. You still are susceptible to ingrown hairs because you're removing hair from the follicle. When it comes to waxing, that hair is ripped directly out of the pores. So just like when it comes to shaving, you have micro rips on your pussy, you have ripped pores, and there are some times where the pores may start to bleed because that hair was so embedded in that pore that it was ripped the fuck out. You can develop folliculitis. You can develop ingrown hairs. Be careful. Don't rush to get fucked after you get your pussy waxed. I know that pussy be screaming after you get out of that wax table. I know that motherfucker leaking and wet once you get up from that wax table. You ready to show that nigga what you just did. You ready to show him. No. Listen to the lady. If she say wait 24 hours to pop your pussy, you need to wait 24 hours to pop your pussy. You can wait. That motherfucker gonna be bald and slick for 4 more weeks, bitch. What's 24 hours? Of course, there are the Nair methods, tweezing methods, those sort of things. I'm not really gonna try to get too deep into those because those are less popular methods. But when it comes to Nair, you need to make sure it don't get nowhere near there. If you're using a hair removal cream, one, make sure it's a hair removal cream that is made for bikini and sensitive areas specifically. Do not leave it on longer than the recommended time. I think it's anywhere from like 5 to 10 minutes. I think 5 to 8 and no exceeding 10 minutes. Your skin will literally be burned. Be careful. If you're going to really try it, there are some methods that I've seen online where some women roll up a paper towel and they'll put it and cover up their inner labia area, their clitoris and their pussy opening. They'll have their legs wide open and just have the cream on there, and they'll just wipe it off, get in the shower, and go about their day. It's risky because if you get any in this area, it's going to burn you. 100%. Pussy burn. It's painful. So be careful. Choose the pubic hair grooming method that is best for you, that is best for your lifestyle, and that fits you. If you are a girl who just wants to trim and go about her day, go do that. If you want to go get your wax once a month, go do that. Like I said, removing the pussy hair, designing the pussy hair, trimming the pussy hair, it is all aesthetic. It has nothing to do with the function of the pussy. These are a couple tips that I want to make sure I get out the way before I move on to the next phase of the sexually active coochie. But wipe front to back, not back to front, regardless. Hand, reach, pussy, front to back. Even if you, let's say you reach this way, got that big old ass. But you can't get, I feel like, me personally, I can't get this deep in my ass. Maybe you didn't shit, so you don't need to do that. But still, front to back, full swipe, front to back. If you want to use a wet wipe, use a wet wipe. Dry it off too. Use a wet wipe, then use some toilet paper to dry your pussy. You don't want that moist ass pussy in them drawers breeding bacteria. Use a bidet. If you like the bidet, use the bidet, but still wipe your ass. You don't need bidet water on your pussy all day. Last but not least, with the upkeep and the grooming and the cleaning part of coochie maintenance, take some of the stuff that you see online with a grain of salt. Take what's useful and leave the rest. Even when it comes to my content, take what is useful for you and leave the rest. I am not a doctor, and a lot of these motherfuckers ain't one either. So when they telling you to stick a garlic clove up your pussy, toothpaste, crazy shit, random shit. Be careful. Be careful. Your granny wasn't doing that. The most your granny did was put a little peroxide in her bath water to make that pussy tight. Put a little apple cider vinegar in that bath water to make that pussy tight. That's about as much as you did. And that apple cider vinegar diluted can help maintain that pH level. But when it comes to sticking garlic and sticking food and sugars and stuff up your pussy, it is a recipe for disaster. That sugar, if you want some honey and shit all up in your pussy, fuck it up. Don't do it. Don't do it. You're better off focusing on grooming, upkeep, diet, and contacting a doctor. There's also a section of coochie maintenance and upkeep that I forgot to mention when I was doing that. And I just realized that as I'm editing this, when it comes to periods, there are different period methods that you can use. There are pads, there are cups, there are period panties, there are diapers, there are tampons, all of the above. Whatever you feel is best for your lifestyle, please do that. There are risks involved with all of those different methods. So tampons, of course, can cause toxic shock syndrome if they are left in for longer than 8 hours or if they're not frequently changed after they have been heavily saturated. So if you are using tampons, please change them frequently. I change them just about every time I go to the bathroom, especially if I urinate, because that string is so close to your urethra. It sometimes gets that string wet, and you don't want to have that pee saturated and blood saturated string inside your inner labia. For me personally, like I said, this is just whatever is good for your lifestyle. If I am at home, I don't use tampons. So I'm going to use myself right now. I have on a period panty right now. This is a reusable period panty. You can wash it in the washing machine. I probably have like 10 pairs of them, and it's Thanks brand. I am not sponsored by Thanks at all, but if I'm at home, I like to free bleed to let everything flow out. Also, it helps those clots pass a lot easier. I've noticed that not only are my cramps sometimes more intense when I'm using tampons, because those cotton tampons are sometimes saturated with a lot of chemicals that can be very damaging to your flora and your vaginal health. So I've noticed that sometimes my cramps are more intense when I'm not free bleeding. And I also feel like the clots don't effectively drain as much as they could, or sometimes I'll have a clot that passes that's so heavy and it'll kind of like bypass the tampon, like they're not 100% leak free. So if I'm at home, I would do the diaper method, I would do the pad method, or I would do the period panty method. I do the period panties instead of pads or diapers because I do like the fact that I can wash these and I can reuse them, and it makes me kind of feel like I'm not being as wasteful, because we do have to have periods for almost all of our lives and on a monthly basis. So you can kind of go through a lot of diapers and a lot of pads using them every single time you need a new one. With these Thanks panties that I'm using, I think they can hold up to, like, you can wear them for up to 24 hours. I do not wear them for 24 hours. I wear them as I'm home, and I wear them while I'm sleeping at night because it is completely leak free. But whatever you can do. With the period panties, they're usually cotton, so it is safe to have it on your vagina. With pads, it's not the same exact risk that can come with tampon as far as like toxic shock syndrome, but you do have that issue, kind of like with the period panties, of moisture buildup, which can sometimes breed bacteria, like I talked about in the upkeep. So I would change those frequently, just like I suggest to change the tampons frequently. Even though they say I can wear these panties for 24 hours, I've changed these panties already 3 times since I went home, because I don't like the feeling, the wet diaper feeling. I don't like having moisture or a moist sack always on my pussy, or just my pussy smeared in with that blood. It just makes me feel more clear to change these a lot more frequently, and then just throw the ones that I've already used right in the washing machine. Do what is best for you. But like I said, that extra moisture does breed bacteria, so keep that in mind. Tampons do have the risk of toxic shock syndrome, and they are made sometimes with chemicals that can be harmful for your reproductive health. So make sure you choose a tampon that may have pure cotton or that is free of any of those chemicals. Do not rush your period. Don't take a whole bunch of ibuprofen. Don't start doing the gelatin. Don't start doing those things. Yes, I talked about the method that I used to delay my period when I was in Miami once, and I used medical assistance with that. And I got a prescription for it. I did not take a whole bunch of gelatin and lemon and ibuprofen to try to push my period through or delay my period. Let your period happen. Let your period go through. Don't rush it. It is safe to have sex when you're on your period. You still are going to use these same exact methods. The same exact risks happen when you're on your period. So there's not much to change. But I did want to make sure that I added this part in there because I did realize when I was in the editing process that I forgot all about periods. And I'm on my fucking period. Ain't that crazy? Also, when it comes to periods, cramps come with the period a lot of the times. And you can use ibuprofen. Be mindful with the ibuprofen. I know sometimes the pain can be a little painful, and sometimes that can be a result of an underlying condition, but do not overdose on the ibuprofen or the acetaminophen. I think you shouldn't have any more than 2,000 milligrams in a day. Some of these pills are 500 milligrams, and we're taking 2 at a time. If you do that and wait another 8 hours and you do that again, you're having your amount and your daily amount. If you go over the 2,000, I think it can raise a lot of risk for kidney failure, organ failure, liver failure, and also heart failure. So be careful when it comes to overdosing or taking too much of the ibuprofen and the acetaminophen to combat the period cramps. A lot of times what I do, I will use a heating pad. Heating is really, really good for the cramps and is a natural way to help relieve some of the pain. So try to get you a heating pad, and sometimes they have those disposable heating pads like kind of how you have for your back. They have some that you can put in your abdomen area that help you with the period cramping. Also, another thing, just like how when you cramp up when you're swimming or cramp up when you're doing something, it can sometimes be a result of you being dehydrated. So you're losing a lot of blood. It is a lot that your body is going through. So make sure you maintain hydration because that could also help with some of those symptoms. But that is just my piece that I wanted to talk about the period. I know there's way much more with period health that I can get into, but I'll save that for an episode where we are talking strictly about periods. Thank you.